What up, YouTube? It's Mateo. I'm going to be doing a feeding video today because I don't think I've ever done one of those before. Kind of like to document, see, how my fish eat. Be kind of interesting, I guess. So I'm going to be feeding them a couple cubes of frozen bloodworms. See how they react. Let me drop one in. I only meant to put in one, but I accidentally put in two. I've noticed when I put in two, they all just like go for the one and the other one just like sits there. Whereas if I put in one, let them eat it, and then put in another one in a little bit, they're more likely to eat them both. Just helps reduce the maintenance on your tank. The more food that sits down at the bottom, the more nutrients you're going to get in your water column, and the more often you have to do water changes, or else you're going to get algae. So my fish, obviously, I've yet to see a fish that does not like bloodworms, live or frozen. Obviously live ones are probably what you want to start them off at if you like have acquired a new fish or something, but most fish are generally pretty easily swayed into frozen bloodworms after you've gotten them on live. So yeah, you can see that they've totally chowed down that first cube, and the second cube is back there behind my filter intake, but who knows if they'll be smart enough to search that out or what will happen there, but I guess we'll see. So yeah, frozen bloodworms, definitely a good choice for food, something other than flake food. I don't really like frozen brine shrimp. A lot of people like frozen brine shrimp and or mysis. I'll tell you why I don't like it. For me personally, I have a Fluval filter, and the Fluval intake tubes are like a rigid. I just happen to have one right here next to me, so I'll show you guys real quick. But this is a Fluval intake tube, and you can see how it's kind of like rigid and ribbed like that. I find when I feed mysis shrimp that all the leftover food the fish don't eat gets stuck in those ridges in the filter. So when I go to do maintenance on my filter and I turn my filter off, I take off the filter cap, the motor where all the innards are, and I clean that. That gets all nice and clean. Do a water change, my tank's all nice and clean. Then I go to turn my filter back on, and all kinds of mysis shrimp just shoot out, dirtying the tank, and it's because the mysis shrimp gets caught in those little ridges. I know it might sound ridiculous, and I'm sure there's tons of ways to go about avoiding that. I'm just telling you why I don't like it. And that's my 2 cents. I've gotten rid of all of my dwarf sage that used to be carpeting my tank. Oh look, okay, they found the other bloodworm cube. Got rid of all my dwarf sage. I don't know, it was working for me for a while, but then it just took a turn for the worse. And I've been doing planted tanks long enough now to come to the conclusion, at least with my schedule, that instead of trying to get plants that just don't do well in my tank, trying to get them to survive and flourish, I've just totally stopped swimming against the current and started swimming with the current, and just stick with plants that don't require any work in my personal tank, that just absolutely like being in there. Everybody's tank's different, everybody's parameters are different. One thing that will do well in my aquarium might not do so well in yours, and something that doesn't do so well in yours might do awesome in mine. So not saying that dwarf sage is a hard plant to grow. It was doing fine for me for a while, but then somewhere down the road something changed and my parameters are different now, and it just wasn't doing well for a long time. So I decided just to take it out instead of trying to change and fix things that I didn't really have time for. So now what I have in here is some down here at the bottom here, this guy right here, that's Italian Val, corkscrew Val. I have some more on the other side. Then the Val in the back is just long jungle Val, and everything you see up front are crypts. The crypts are probably the next thing to go, just because I'm ready for some more changes. Other than that, my plants in here are super minimal. The one smack dab in the middle is some Kabumba that I got from my work that I wanted to test out. One cool thing about my work, again, I don't know if you guys know, but I work at my local fish store. One cool thing about my work is, we'll get a couple plants in, and we have some planted tanks at the shop, and then I have my tank here at home, and they're obviously different parameters in the two tanks. So sometimes my work will let me take some of the plants home, see how they do in my tank versus the tanks at the store. That way when we sell them, we can say, yeah, this one works, a little bit better in this situation of a tank, or a little bit better of this situation in a tank, and we can kind of tell them the differences of what the parameters are in my tank here at home and the tanks there at the store. So that's what's going on with that Kabumba right now. Since I've put that Kabumba in here, I've turned off my CO2, or my CO2 ran out, however you want to say it. So that Kabumba's come from a tank that used to have CO2 into a tank that doesn't have any CO2, and it's definitely taking its toll. I think it's still getting adjusted. Not saying it can't grow in a tank with no CO2, but when it came in here, it had bright cherry tips on the leaves. Now they've just faded into like a kind of like a dull pinkish color. But that's my feeding video. Next video I'll do here will probably be on the lights I have, because I've been saying I've been doing that forever. I've also got a new little what they call Kralia power head up there. That guy's worked out pretty well. Maybe I'll do a short little video on that. I'm not doing very well at doing what I say on this channel. I'm sorry for that. What I've wanted to do on this channel, what I said I wanted to do, is put out, I'd rather put out condensed, productive videos rather than long, drawn out videos. But I'm kind of torn in between the two, because the long, drawn out videos are something that I'll be able to go back to and like I say, kind of use as like a video diary later on down the road, which I think is pretty interesting. So I know I can do both, but I've just been having a hard time following up on it. So that's my feeding videos, my tank, Bozeman rainbows, rummy nose tetra, and a couple blue tetra up there that I got. Not really digging those anymore, but see you guys next time.